Hey, what's up, guys? It's Ben from UnitedQ. It's Wednesday, which means we have another awesome podcast to get you over hump day. I'm here with my co-host, Dan.
Hello.
Hello. We're brought to you by ProQ, Barbecue Gourmet, Kamado Joe, and Smokewood Shack, our awesome sponsors. ProQ is dedicated to providing you with quality smoking products with top-notch service and free advice for beginners to pitmasters. Dan's ruined it. You can find them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under ProQ Smokers. So if you're thinking about, stop it. You were better at it than me because I just put you off and you just did it. So you can find them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under ProQ. I have to start again. He's full.
No, no, you have to go for it.
You're fully jazzed. Oh, that's jazzies. Alright. So if you're thinking about buying your first smoker, am I really carrying on?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's good. Why are you stripping
quite
off in
late.
the radio room?
You are. So if you're thinking about buying your first smoker, wanting to upgrade, or looking for charcoal cabinet smokers, check out Max Barbecue. Barbecue Gourmet is devoted to promoting real barbecue, championship winning barbecue rubs. This is about
Why are you rubbing your zip?
rubs, sauces, marinades, and accessories from the United States
I was
and around
talking
the
about
world. You can find them. This is a clean podcast, I must remind you. Find them on Twitter and online under Barbecue Gourmet. So regardless how you cook, whether it's on charcoal, wood, gas, or electric, the real taste of barbecue can be yours all year round. And Kamado Joe is renowned for build quality and innovation. From smoking, roasting, or searing, Kamado Joe is the premium ceramic grill chosen by Michelin star chefs and barbecue enthusiasts alike. Get that great barbecue taste and keep the moisture locked in. Check out kamadojoe.co.uk plus Facebook and Twitter. Probably about all we got time for now. The intro took so long.
We love you, Barbecue Gourmet. We love you, ProQ.
Yeah, and Dan,
Ben was stripping
can you
off for some
please
reason.
keep
It's
your
weird.
shirt on next time because I can't do the intro when you're naked.
Very formal.
And on today's show we have...
Kristian.
Hi, Kristian. It's Dan from UnitedQ. How's it going?
Hey, how you doing, Dan? I'm very well, thank you.
And we got Ben here.
Hi there, mate. You alright?
Hey, Ben. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. Can you hear us both okay?
Yeah, all good.
Oh,
All
good. Are you comfortable?
I am comfortable.
Cool.
Yes.
We're
I'm in a hopefully quiet room in the house.
Oh, good. Yeah, so we're aiming to be like under the hour mark of recording time. So we'll keep an eye on the clock and make sure we round it down as we're approaching that sort of time.
All right, that sounds great.
We need a couple, like just a little few admin tasks before we start. We need to have like image artwork for the like album cover for the episode. So if you could supply us with a picture of yourself or of whatever you would
You
like
with
to,
an Ooni or
yeah.
something like that.
Let me see.
Yeah, something like that for us to promote with the episode. And we also put it out as a clean podcast, so we can avoid swearing wherever possible. Don't worry if it does happen, we'll cut it out.
I will absolutely do my best.
Cool. Everyone always tries their best.
Bit of a struggle, but
is that everything?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought I had one more thing, but I think that's it. Is there any like news or new products coming out or anything that you want to make sure that we mention?
Nothing actually that I can talk about yet.
Cool.
Yeah, we're always working on new stuff.
Yeah.
I'd love to come back on and talk about new stuff when it's timely. But
Yeah, no problem.
wait a few more weeks, and I think we might have
Oh, exciting.
Yeah. Intrigued now.
Spend the next hour trying to get it out.
That's the aim of this podcast now, is to expose all the
try
secrets.
and tease it out. Okay.
Okay, and sometimes people have like events and stuff that they're at. Is there anything like that you want us to talk about if you're going to be?
We're going to be at Chelsea Flower Show, and we're going to be at Hampton Court, another RHS show. Those are the two shows, and we're thinking of doing sort of a meet up sometime in May in London.
Cool.
We're potentially hoping to sort of hire a whole pub with a bit of outdoor space and drinking facilities on the inside and that sort of thing.
Lovely.
Sounds great.
Sounds perfect.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. We'll start off the episode.
Cool.
Kristian, how do you pronounce your surname?
It's Tapaninaho.
Tapaninaho.
Tapaninaho. Yeah.
Should I just say Kristian?
Just go with Kristian.
Kristian from UUNI?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's pronounced.
Cool. Right, well, we'll crack straight on and I'll introduce you and then just ask you a bit about yourself and that's it. We'll just have a nice chat.
Cool. Sounds great. I'm just sending you a mugshot. Basically my same as I use online elsewhere.
Cool.
No worries. And on today's show, we have Kristian from UUNI. Hello.
Hello. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. Thanks for coming on the show.
Well, thanks very much for having me.
No worries. We're both massive fans of the UUNI. It's
Yeah.
showed up everywhere for us. It's on our blogs. It's in our book. It's on our top Christmas list.
You're actually last week. You're number one on our Christmas wish lists.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, we saw that. Thanks very much. We're blown away by the attention just now, and very very grateful for that.
Yeah. So
you.
if people have been living under a rock and don't know what the UUNI is, could you give us a background of who you are and what you do and what UUNI is?
All right. So UUNI is the world's first portable wood-fired oven. I launched the company back in sort of late 2012. Launched as a Kickstarter campaign because back then, if you wanted to get into wood-fired cooking, you wanted to get a wood-fired oven, you'd be looking at spending sort of £800, £1,000, and you'd need a big amount of outdoor space to have it in be a permanent installation and so on. So I wanted one of those. I didn't have the space. I didn't quite have the money then either to set one up. So I looked at finding something like a portable solution for this, and as I couldn't find one, I decided to design one from scratch. And so that's the kind of very early stages of UUNI. It basically, in a nutshell, it does whatever a large pizza oven or large wood-fired oven does. So it cooks a pizza in just about 60 seconds, gets up to 500 degrees Celsius or 932 in Fahrenheit. And overall, generally, just an awesome little outdoor cooking device.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I think it's one of those things that as soon as you talk to someone about, or even get them to use or show them, they just want one straight away. It's one of those things that I find it quite naturally passionate to talk about because I really, really like the product. I mean, I was a guy called Toby basically showed me one when I was at Marcus's house, and we were cooking some pizzas on it, and I was just like, I need one of these. Within minutes,
you were straight home.
I was straight home and ordered one that night. So I absolutely loved it. And since then, like just in work where no one really is massive sort of outdoor cooks or anything, just I work in a school, and literally about 5 or 6 members of staff at the school have all bought UUNIs.
Wow, that's amazing.
Just because they've heard me talking about them, and they all absolutely love them. Like I
don't
don't actually
a range
talk
of
to
people.
them.
Yeah, people that just aren't even like generally don't even do cooking. Really, it's just like I can make a pizza that easily, and I've got like IT developer friends, we've got builders, we've got everyone using them.
Yeah, we don't even talk to them about work anymore. It's just about pizzas when we see them and stuff. So
pizza chat.
Yeah.
So pizza chat's the best kind of chat you can have. So that's great.
Where did the name come from? What does UUNI mean, and where did it come from?
So I'm Finnish, and UUNI means oven in Finnish. My wife came up with the name. It's a simple, nice name. It doesn't really, we don't have to kind of make a big point of it meaning anything else, but it's a nice sort of approachable, kind of slightly cute name even. So yeah, that's where it comes from my roots to Finland.
Cool, awesome.
Yeah.
And even in its sort of, I would say it's quite a young product still, but even so, there's been three sort of upgrades, isn't there? The original Ooni, then the Ooni 2, then the Ooni 2S. Is that right? Or
there's actually been fourth, so we're on our fourth generation of the Ooni. So there was the original one, that was the black just Ooni. Then there was the Ooni 2. We're sort of in the same kind of I guess similar style product as the Ooni 2 currently. So the Ooni 2 had to introduce the chimney in the front, got rid of the fan system in the back, and we've done 3 versions of the Ooni 2 so far. And so yeah, it's a third iteration with each year so far. Up until now, we've introduced a new version of the Ooni. Kind of very much listening to our feedback from the community and feedback from the customers and things that we just learn along the time. And as we grow, we have opportunities to do different things when it comes to manufacturing. So just adding that scale of the company makes it easier to put in a lot more attention to detail. In kind of when you do things.
That's amazing to see though, because you often see companies release a great product like the Ooni, and then are just happy with it and just let it sit there and sell. But what we've seen you yourself, who is the actual designer and who actually responds. I see you all the time on social media and stuff, responding to people, talking to people, giving advice, giving tips, listening to feedback, and you see. I mean, like I said, you've just pointed out there's been four sort of changes through its time already, and that's from listening to feedback and developing the product further, which is awesome.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, nothing in the world is perfect in a sense. Like we are very highly critical of what we do, and we just want to keep on making things better. I think we've got really far, and it's the downside is that it does take a lot of time to work on it. So we're hoping now this year we're adding more people to the team. So we're starting to be able to concentrate on some other new products coming this year. So it's really exciting. But on the kind of community side, I mean, of course, having a good product is everything. But then if you don't love your customers and the community as much as you do love the product, and the equation doesn't work. So we do want to make sure that we stay on top of things and be as approachable as we'd hope to be if we were the customers for the product.
Yeah. And do you see a lot of I've seen quite a few people make their own sort of modifications and stuff to the Ooni. Have you seen people have added a hinge on the front door, and they've added a bigger hopper to add more pellets at the back? Do you see these sort of ideas, and do those help you inspire new ways to design the product?
Yeah, no, definitely it does. It's really really fun to see the modifications that people sometimes do. I wouldn't say that I've been sort of a big hacker when I was a kid, although I was kind of tinkering with a lot of things when I was younger. But it's really fun to see that something we've made is people are actually taking and putting their own spin on it in that way. And there's certain ideas that we can then bring back and see if we could incorporate in some ways in the future.
Yeah, not all of them might be a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, there's often people when making modifications is they're doing it for themselves, and which they should do. And if it works for them, that's really great. But we have to kind of think of all the customers and all the kind of how would this work scaled out to thousands and thousands of customers. Is this really the way it would work for everybody? So we try and be choosy with what we put in development.
Yeah, definitely. And it's such a simple product that it allows you to do that sort of thing. Because I think I know we said before, you said at the beginning that pizza ovens are like really, really expensive to buy, and this is like a more accessible and mobile way of doing it. But a lot of people would have been building their own pizza ovens, because that was what when I was thinking when I first started out. I was like, all right, I want a pizza oven. They're too expensive. I'm going to build my own, and trying to like dig clay out your garden or something and build your own device. So it's quite nice that you could actually have this device, and it's so simple that if you wanted to tweak it, it's kind of like accessible in that way, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely right. I mean, if you'd be surprised how often we see, especially when we're going to sort of consumer shows, like we've been to RHS, some of the RHS shows and Grand Designs and these kind of things, and we hear it so often. People are like, okay, yeah, I started building my own one about 2 years ago, and I'm still thinking of how to wet buy the bricks for it. And they're just like, well, we'll just buy this while we build the big one, and we'll use this until we get it done. And they just end up loving Ooni and just getting on with it, making pizzas. I mean, that's the most important thing is actually just getting in there making pizzas.
Yeah. So when you wanted to build or buy a pizza oven for your garden area,
yes,
and that was what initially sparked you to think of designing your own version. And like what was the sort of process in go through that? Because I mean, it's one thing liking pizza ovens and wanting a pizza oven to then completely designing your own sort of, I would say, revolutionary like product. And what was sort of the process in doing that? In
designing Ooni.
Yeah, and like, I mean, because like, I know that you sort of had an engineering background, but I mean, what about sort of like airflow and all stuff like that? And where did you learn about all of that, and how did you put it all together to make such an amazing product?
So it was basically breaking down the problem into smaller pieces, and just thinking about how to deliver. So there was, okay, what makes a large traditional? Let's think of a large pizza oven or wood-fired oven. How does it work? So you've got you've got a big fire at the back, and you've got a lot of thermal mass to sink all that heat into, that then radiates back into the pizza. It also has we could say maybe a quite inefficient process of burning, since you don't have a grate under often don't have a grate under the fire, so you don't have a good airflow underneath that. So just starting by breaking that down. So if you don't want to have 300 kilos of clay and stone in your gardens, you basically, what are the options that you're left with? You can really only just use sheet metal. And then, well, how do you deliver that heat? So you have to kind of come up with a way of delivering quite a concentrated heat flow into the food that you're cooking. And it's a lot of just breaking it down into smaller chunks, developing the kind of heat source separately. I looked at a lot of other ways as well. Like I looked at rocket stove style burners. I thought about having quite a bit bigger burning area at the back, but still the same size, smaller oven chamber. And I think the pellets and using the pellets was just quite a good match, because you can burn a very small amount of pellets and get a high temperature from those. So you can really sort of miniaturize the area that you need for burning, and get it kind of concentrated onto the food very efficiently. So yeah, it's just quite a bit of trial and error, quite a bit of reading up on burning things. And looking at a ton of videos online on YouTube, and how people are making camping stoves and hacking these kind of things together.
Amazing, cool.
And then you've brought out like additional products to go alongside it as well, like the sizzler pan as well, haven't you?
Yeah, so this is one of the constraints that we've had, is that we've been so busy with the. I mean, we're not a tiny team. We're seven people at the moment. We've got actually just advertising for another person to join us next year, and we've already hired somebody else to start in the start of the year, an engineer to join the team. So we're not we're very small. We're not tiny. But that's been one of the constraints so far, that we do want to, when we do things, we want to do them really well, and so we haven't really released or started selling a lot of different accessories around the product. But I think with having a slightly bigger team next year, we'll be able to do that. So look forward to more sort of accessory products that we're designing in-house from us.
Cool. You must see so many people like making so many different pizzas and like sharing photos of what they've done. What do you think's your favourite pizza like topping that you've ever seen someone do?
Gosh, there's so many. Yeah, we see so much good stuff. But I think my favourites are always the kind of the simpler ones, and they sort of if I just pick one pizza to have for the rest of my life, it'd probably just be maybe a pepperoni pizza, or just a margarita with a bit of anchovies on top. Something like I'm quite low key in that way. Very, very simple.
I think that's one of those things that, as a discovery that I found, is when I got the Uni, I sort of made my few pizzas and chucked all this stuff on top, and then realised that actually the key to a good pizza is keep it simple and really strip it all back and let the flavours really come out and speak for themselves, and keep it really simple and use fresh produce and make your own dough and stuff, and it just really makes a difference.
Yeah, I think definitely this is an eye-opening experience for people when they do use it, because most people haven't ever made their own. A lot of people haven't made their own pizzas in a wood-fired oven before. They've tried it in like a domestic electric oven, but it often ends up with a bit of a dry base, and it does run so extremely hot. You can't pile on everything you have in the cupboard. You definitely couldn't make a Chicago style pizza in the UUNI, because it just doesn't work. So it kind of forces you to really think about what am I doing here, and what's the pizza that I'm making here. And I think people are coming out on the other side as being better pizza makers and better cooks.
Yeah, definitely. Well, how do you advise that people? What's the sort of recommended way to cook your pizza? Or, I don't know. Should we start further back than that? Maybe let's start with the dough right from the beginning, because I know I've made. I think it might be your recipe. I think I looked on the Ooni app that you can get on the iPhone, and I saw the recipe on there for pizza dough, and I used that when I made a pizza. So you've I think in that recipe you said that you've like tried lots of them over the years. So what do you think's right about that recipe? Why does that work so well?
It just seems to always come out the best. I think there's a lot of variation you can do with that. A lot of people use different levels of hydration, but it really actually the biggest thing to make your pizza skills better isn't just to find a recipe. It's actually just doing it quite a few times and putting a bit of practice into it. And it's quite hard to I'd love to be able to communicate the experience of doing 50 or 100 or 200 batches of dough in a simple app, and maybe I'll try one day when I find some time for it. But it's just it's quite a classic ratio. Say 500 grams of flour, and you can go anything between sort of 270 to 340 on the water, and as long as you knead it well and it rises well, you're not going to have problems with sticking So it's quite a classic ratios for that. And but yeah, that seems to work pretty well for our.
How important do you think like the proving process is as well? Once you've made the dough, do you think you can just go for it straight away, roll it out, or stretch it out, whichever method? There's another one there: rolling or stretching. What do you do?
I'm not a pizza Nazi. I don't mind if people. I actually just earlier this week I rolled out a pizza because we were doing pizzas without rising the dough properly, and then you kind of do have to use a rolling pin because you can't stretch it because the gluten's still too sort of. So ultimately, if you have all the time in the world and you have a bit of skills of pre-planning things a few days ahead. So really the way that I do the pizza dough is make it a few days early. So say 3 days early, make the pizza dough. Don't let it rise at that point. I just get it from. I use a Kenwood chef. Usually do hand kneading. I'd get it mixed up. I usually do about 3 or 4 minutes in the Kenwood. Let it rest for about 20 minutes. I'll do a little bit of hand kneading at that point. Sort of maybe I usually count about 30 sort of hand movements on the dough just to get a feel for it, feel how the gluten's forming, and is it stringy? Is it sort of stretchy enough at that point? Yeah. Then I'll just put it into the proving dish, just a big bowl, cover it up very well. You have to make sure that it's covered very well, and stick it in the fridge for at least 24 hours, preferably sort of 3 days. And at that point, then after it's proofed there, I'll take it out and I'll put it into little dishes and let it do its final bit of rising in a warm place, about 5 hours before I start making pizzas, and that seems to work really well.
Oh, it's a long process then, really.
Yeah, it's when the dough rises and it proves slowly. I mean, most things in the world are better with time. So wine they say gets better with time. Get good whiskey that spends years in barrels and it gets better. And the same thing, you don't have to wait years for a pizza dough to get better. It's just a couple of days. So it's got that. But to be honest, I don't have that kind. I usually end up leaving things too late, and I'll just give it a couple of hours or 24 hours if I'm lucky. But that's the ideal situation. Is about 3 days. 3 days in the fridge.
Cool. So then, like going on to sort of then like a tomato sort of base sauce. Then do you make your own sauces? Do you buy jarred sauces? Do you buy just plum tomatoes, or what do you tend to do with that sort of side of things?
So sauces. Let's see. I quite like. I do maybe quite different kinds of sauces every time. So I do more variety around the sauces than I do with
so it's more
dough.
like what mood you're in then. You chuck different things in.
Yeah, exactly. My sort of latest sort of recent favorite's been this Kenji Lopez out from Serious Eats, and he's got a New York style sauce recipe that again takes a bit, like takes a good 30 minutes to an hour to make. But you basically have a couple of tins of good plum tomatoes. You can put them through a food mill, bit of olive oil, garlic, and put some sort of seasonings into it, salt, pepper, bit of hot paprika, basil as whole stems, so you can pull it out. The same thing with the onion, is you just kind of half an onion into it, and you just reduce it to half in that. You just let it simmer for a long time.
Cool.
And that's a nice sort of, and a bit of sugar bit of extra sugar for sweetness, but
Nice.
yeah, that's a nice one that I
Cool. Give it a go.
quite a lot lately.
I really like Kenji's stuff from Serious Eats. I love Serious Eats. One of my favourite sort of websites to use for food. I like the way they do the food lab, and they investigate things and try out different things, and they explain why certain things work better than others and stuff like that. I really like Serious Eats' website. I think it's a really good sort of blog.
Oh, absolutely. Kenji does an amazing job. His the food lab book is just amazing. It's one of those kind of books that you need to have that as a sort of a reference book in your house to if you want to make bolognese, or you want to make some sauce or whatever you want to make. You just kind of check out first before you start making it. You just check what Kenji says.
Yeah, I just love the thought he puts into everything. The thought of how he breaks down recipes. So you can go on and you can just read a recipe if you want, but then also you can actually read through the research that he's done into like all the individual ingredients, their substitutes, what you can use instead, why to use this, why not. I just love that. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a great way of doing things, and I don't know, it really excites me, like a simple chili, for instance, or like you said, bolognese or something, and just how the individual elements can really make such a difference in the final product, and how you treat them along the way. It's amazing. Attention
to detail he's put in and puts into his kind of studies of making different things is just incredible, and really sort of is one of my sort of chef crushes, or food writer crushes, or jealous of the attention to detail he can put into his work. It's just amazing.
Cool, awesome.
So we're building up our pizza. We've done our we've done our dough. We've done our sauce. Do you go cheese now, or do you do other toppings and then cheese on top, or both?
Both depends a little. Another thing, it do vary. Like sometimes it's mozzarella, sometimes it's even just quite like cheddar, a bit of cheddar and mozzarella mixed up together. And if I have some like fatty meats like charcuterie, like just salami or these, I'll leave those on the very, very top, so they kind of, when they melt, when they cook in the oven, they'll kind of dribble their fat.
Yeah, the fat renders down. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, kind of dribbles on top of everything else that's underneath it. But yeah, I'm quite easy. One of my another of my late favorites been I do some mushrooms just on a frying pan for a few minutes. Fry them in a bit of butter, a bit of olive oil, fry them there, and then flambe them with bourbon.
Yes.
And a little bit of thyme with them. You gotta be careful. I don't know. I like playing with fire. And I've almost burned my eyebrows off a few times doing this. but yeah, the flambeing with bourbon's really cool. That's a nice side to the mushrooms. So mushrooms just go on top of a white pizza. So I use a bit of olive oil on top of the pizza dough, bit of olive oil, little bit of cheddar, little bit of mozzarella. Then the mushrooms go on top of that, and then that tends to come out really awesome. So.
I was just flicking through your recipes on your website, and literally as you've just said it, I've just got to a point where there's a frying pan with flames like bellowing out of it, and it's the
just make sure that our insurance company never sees that, because probably not.
In the description, you put a quick dip of the pan. Don't pour it straight from the bottle, else it could go up in flames. But you've got the bottle in your hand. No comment.
No comment on that. Don't classic. Don't do as I do as I say.
Well, that's a bottle of something else.
Yeah. That's yeah.
Vinegar or something.
There's a bottle of water to put it out, just in case.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Moving away from pizza slightly. I mean, I
haven't cooked it yet.
Okay, go on then.
Because that was my original question: was how do you cook a perfect pizza? But I thought we better make one first. So
okay, go on.
That's it.
How do you cook a perfect pizza?
Yeah, so lots of people have different methods of like timings and stuff. Of like, put it in, wait 15 seconds, turn it, quarter, turn it. There's lots of different ways. I wanted to know the guy that made it. What's the best way to cook it?
So yeah, it's pretty much that. Like, it depends on what kind of temperature the Ooni is running at that given time, and you just kind of eyeball it. I do usually most times I just do 2 turns maximum. Sometimes just 1, but I like my pizzas quite well done. I've got some feedback from people. Sometimes they look at our pizzas on our website, on our recipes, and they look burned. Whereas I think they're just nicely just about cooked. You need a little bit of blistering. You need a bit of black on it. I think it brings another edge to it.
Definitely.
But yeah, it's just sort of a couple of quarter turns on the pizza when it's baking there, and I often burn my pizzas because I get people. I'm cooking for people when they've never seen the Ooni, and I get excited and I start talking about it and explaining things and showing things around it, and then I forget. And there's the video of us of me baking a pizza in 60 seconds on YouTube, and it was just under 60 seconds, I guess technically. And we had to stop after 5 tries because every time I burned the pizza. And we had to make more dough, basically. I started talking something in between, and I'd forget like for extra 5-10 seconds, and I'd burn an edge. And we wanted, obviously, making a video like that has thousands of views, and you just want to make sure that it looks perfect when it comes out.
Definitely. So you said about getting the like depends what temperature it is. Like, what do you recommend is the best ways to check that? We see a lot of people, and I know Dan's got one. Is there like infrared style thermometer that you can like shine inside to check the temperature? Is there like any plans to put a thermometer on the front of it or anything like that so we can see what the temperature is?
Yeah, I know, everybody probably knows. There's a lot of people talking about it, like it'd be great to have a thermometer on the front or on somewhere on it, or what's the best way to kind of know what the temperature is. I feel like, I've used it so much that maybe I'm probably not the best person to ask, but I feel like you kind of learn it quite quickly. And we do hear this from customers as well. Once they've used it a couple of times, you kind of learn you tell from the flames, how the flames are acting, that how hot is it? And you basically, if you've left your pizza there for 15 seconds and it's cooked from one side, you turn it, you kind of know how it's doing. The thermometer thing, I have a infrared thermometer as well, and I do use it often enough just to check that if things are like running way too hot, if I've left it for too long, and sometimes the stone gets very hot, and you might have to leave the door open for like a minute or so to kind of let it cool down or something. But the thermometer thing is a tricky one, because while it runs at sort of 500 degrees or so, the temperature isn't even all the way through, so we can't have a thermometer right where the end of the pizza is at the far end, because that's where the fire is and that's where the pizza goes. So you're always kind of compromising on where you place the thermometer. And when you look at some ovens, some boxy metal ovens that have the thermometer on the unit, it's if you know anything about like convection, you know that that's way hotter than where the pizza would be. So it's a tricky one. But I'd say we're looking at it. I think with the Ooni, it's because it's such a simple and easy product to use that you kind of learn how to gauge it for yourself. But yeah, we're keeping our eyes open.
And I do agree with you as well. I agree with you. Like when you get the hang of using it, you just know when it is, and maybe it doesn't matter like what temperature that. You just know it's ready to cook on. Like I get that, but it's I think everyone starts off, they're not quite sure at the beginning, so it's like how do you find your feet with it, I guess.
I guess it would it would bring a little bit of peace of mind for when you've just got it and you're just getting used to it. But we don't want it to be distracting as you're using it later on. So yeah.
Yeah, so you don't overcomplicate things either. So, I mean, I think the simplicity and the trial and error approach is probably the best way. Like you say, learn your oven.
Yeah.
And we always say that the same thing with barbecues in general, is you got to learn your barbecue. And, I mean, there's thermometers and stuff in barbecues, but quite often, if you have digital reading thermometers and stuff like that, they read completely different to what your ambient sort of barbecue thermometer reads and stuff. So you just got to learn how to build a fire and how your smoker or your barbecue or your Ooni works and how it runs. And yeah, I think it's just trial and error and giving it a go.
Absolutely, yeah. It's the same thing. I've got a Napoleon
char boiler? Is it a char?
Yeah, like a kettle style Napoleon K22 or something like that. I can't remember model names, but I've got one of those, and it's got a thermometer at the top, and it's great. It gives you a little bit of an indication, but that's not what it's at the top. It's not at the temperature where the meat is. So it's hard.
Yeah. Moving away from pizza, because I wanted to about 15 minutes ago, but Ben,
it's a pizza oven. You got to talk about pizza. Sorry.
Yeah, but I love doing so much else on it. I love doing lots of other stuff, and I've done like steaks quite often. I like cooking steaks in it, and I've done sort of other breads as well. So I've done like pittas in it. I've done, I don't know, kebabs. I've used it as sort of like a tandoor because it gets to that sort of heat. So I feel like cooking sort of like chicken and stuff in it, you get an amazing juicy chicken breast that's cooked really, really quickly like you do in a tandoor. I think that I've done seafood in it. I've done all sorts in it, and breakfast and stuff. I think it's such a versatile bit of kit as well. And there's so much more than just a pizza oven.
Yeah.
So what's the sort of what do you enjoy cooking in it other than pizza, and what's the sort of coolest things you've seen people doing?
Let's see. I've got two kids running into the same room. Let me relocate quickly. Sorry, just 1 sec.
No worries, it's okay.
I really need a pizza now. I'm starving.
Here we go. So, what's the favorite thing? So, quite simple stuff again, like steaks. We do a lot of vegetables. We do roasting vegetables and salads and these kind of things. My wife's vegetarian, so we eat that sort of things quite often. Done the kind of lamb chops, done kebabs, like you said there. Some seafood. Done mussels even, and that's quite interesting. Sort of wood-fired mussels. Just gotta watch out what kind of dish you do them in. I've done it once in a Teflon coated dish, and that didn't go down very well. That was a while ago, but yeah, that Teflon doesn't take that sort of heat.
No.
But no, that's one thing. It's the kind of, we try and make a big point of the versatility, because it really isn't just about pizza. I know we've talked a lot about pizza, and I know most of what our customers do with it is pizza. But it really is very versatile. Anything you can fit inside it, and it's happy with that kind of temperatures, is good to cook.
Yeah, because I mean, there are 3 settings on the hopper that do affect temperature, but I feel that really it's always going to be hot no matter what setting you've got it on. So it needs to be something you can cook hot and fast. And I think that there's so much that you can do with it, and introducing the cast iron skillets and stuff is a great way of sort of turning it into something completely different, and that you can get the cast iron in there beforehand to warm up. So similar to the pizza stone, you can get a cast iron in there to warm up and come to temperature. You can bring it out, put a steak on it, and put it in, and then you've got this incredible bottom heat and top heat cooking the steak in an amazing way for you to form a brilliant sort of crust on the outside, and then you've got like still however you like your steak, you bring it out whenever you want, but you can cook it to an amazing, like I said, crust on the outside whilst keeping it so moist and rare on the inside still.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I think the cast iron, the sizzler pans, so these pans that we brought out earlier this year, they've really just they worked as sort of reminder or a bit of thing to tell people that you can do a lot of other things with it. It's not just for the pizzas. So it's kind of a undercover sort of in a way marketing people.
Yeah.
Pointing these things to people that it's all right. But just get the skillet hot and bring it out. Put some salmon on top of it. And, it's so good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we've done like all sorts of like where we wanted to make. We've actually made breakfast pizzas. So we went out and we cooked some sausages in a skillet in the UUNI. When the sausages were sort of cooked, and there we've done some other bits of like mushrooms and stuff like that. And then we've made like an English sort of breakfast pizza and stuff. And it's just good fun. You can. That's what my favourite part about it is just how fun the oven is. And I think as soon as I get it out, my whole family wants to have a go. They want to look inside. They want to make their own pizza. They want to. I mean, everyone just wants to get involved with it. It's such a fun bit of kit.
Oh, absolutely. That's really what it's about, like bringing families together. And we've had some really amazing emails from people saying how it's kind of given their families a new kind of thing to do together on a weekend or Friday night, or kind of bringing families together and enjoying food and getting the kids involved as well. That's the best feedback we get is when it's enjoyed by everybody.
Yeah, and it really is, honestly. Like everyone in my family wants to have a go. They all love it. They love making the pizzas. They love stretching the dough or giving it a go anyway. They love the old chucking it in the air and trying to catch it and stuff and all of that bit. But yeah, it's just really great fun, really easy to use, and yeah, love it. So yeah, awesome. I mean, that was awesome. We are at we're a couple minutes short of the hour, but we're gonna step in and say thank you very much for coming on.
Hey, thanks very much, guys. It's been great to talk to you. Love talking about Ooni and love talking about cooking. So, yeah,
amazing.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, it's awesome. We'll look forward to new products and new things that may come in the future.
Yeah, we've got an. I've said this like end of each year for the last few years now, but we are extremely excited about the coming year. There's some really cool stuff we've been working for. Some things we've been working on for longer, some things a little bit shorter. We're hiring more people to work in the teams. We've got an engineer starting just on the 4th of January, and so there's exciting stuff happening. One thing is actually, if people want to keep an eye out, we're doing a sort of a meetup, most likely around the 20th of May. Probably somewhere in southeast London. Well, we're based in Edinburgh, where our roots go down to Crofton Park in southeast London, and so we're kind of going back to our roots a little bit and hiring a whole pub out there and doing a bit of cooking with Ooni and potentially maybe even drinking a bit of beer. So
amazing.
Love to see the Ooni community, the barbecue community out there.
Cool. So what do we need to check out? Is he going to post that on social media and stuff when that's available?
Yeah, will it be all over. Like the best place if you want to keep up with what's happening with Ooni, it's just to check the Ooni community. The kind of very much organized by people around there. So have a look at that. Our Facebook page, Instagram's been great. So keep an eye on those places. And
awesome.
Awesome. So get on to Ooni on Facebook and check them out on Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah, as well. UniHQ on Instagram.
Awesome. Well, Kristian, thanks very much for coming on the show, and thanks for making such an awesome product.
Hey, thanks very much, guys.
Yeah,
thank you.
Cool. And Merry Christmas.
Oh, Merry Christmas. Jeez. Yeah.
Cool. Speak to you soon. Thank you.
Cheers.
Speak to you soon. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We've recorded yet another awesome podcast to get you over hump day. As always, we're brought to you by ProQ, Barbecue Gourmet, Kamado Joe and Smokewood Shack, our awesome sponsors. ProQ is dedicated to providing you with quality smoking products with top-notch service and free advice for beginners to pitmasters. You can find them on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram under ProQ Smokers. So if you're thinking about buying your first smoker, wanting to upgrade or looking for cabinet charcoal smokers, then check them out over at Max Barbecue. Barbecue Gourmet is devoted to promoting real barbecue and supplying the UK and Europe with top championship winning barbecue rubs, sauces, marinades and accessories from the United States and around the world. You can find them on Twitter and online under Barbecue Gourmet. So regardless of how you cook, whether it's on charcoal, wood, gas or electric, the real taste of summer can be yours all year round. And Kamado Joe is renowned for build quality and innovation, from smoking, roasting or searing. Kamado Joe is the premium ceramic grill chosen by Michelin star chefs and barbecue enthusiasts alike. Get that great barbecue taste and keep the moisture locked in. Check them out at kamadojoe.co.uk and also on Facebook and Twitter. And finally, the awesome Smokewood Shack deliver quality smoking wood every time. You provide the smoke, they provide the smoky goodness, and you provide the talent. So if you're looking for smoking wood chunks, dust, chips or planks, then head on over to smokewoodshack.com, or you can find them on Twitter under Smokewood Shack. And it's goodbye from me today.
And goodbye from me. And I am the best barbecue cook
I'm the best
and the
pizza
best
cooker
Ooni
as well.
cook. My pizza's the way better than
Not
best.